Dude, can you believe it? We got another extraction game in 2025.
Yeah, sit down, mother my butt.
That's what happens when you add VoIP in a game like this. At the end of the day, fair is fair. They mopped the floor with us. We didn't even know there was VoIP. That's how we discovered it. But that's not why you're here. You're here wondering, should I buy this game? My answer, in short, is yes, but not yet. And I'm going to explain why. The game has potential, but it just gives me a familiar feeling of a game that came out not too long ago. I will say this, though. The game has potential to have moments like this. So what makes Legacy, Steel, and Sorcery stand out? It does give you that one more run feeling. And in this genre, it's very important because you're going to lose everything when you die and you're going to want to get your ass kicked again. And there's like a, like you love pain and suffering. And when it gives you that feeling, it's headed in the right direction. The exploration feels good. The combat, there is outplay potential, which I love. And the PvP has those heart-pounding moments, which I absolutely love as well. Okay, so let's start with classes, questing, and exploration. For classes, it's nothing to write home about. You got your basic warrior, hunter, priest, and rogue. Warrior is going to be your up close and personal. You got hunter, who's shooting from far away and trying to create space while shooting tornadoes that push you back. You got priest that heals. They're the supportive kind. Typically, you're going to find them more in group play. Then you have your rogue. They're going to be trying to sneak around and catch you when you're not paying attention. So the quest system feels semi-meaningful. The game gives you quests and it's very simple premise. You grab whatever it asks you to grab, you turn it in, but it does force you to explore different areas of the map and do certain things in your runs, which definitely can give you a sense of agency while you're doing your runs, and it gets you a little bit more focused. I enjoy that. I play a lot of MMOs, so it makes sense for me. The objectives are varied and rewarding, making each run feel a little less like a chore and more like an adventure. The lodge, or your personal hideout, is one of my favorite things in this game because I feel like it has a lot of potential that's just been untapped. Currently, it's just a menu screen and you just follow the rules and you kind of just give it what it's asking for, and there's so much personality that they could give this game if they just turned it into a player housing system where perhaps you can kind of visit other people's hubs and you can maybe even duel and test your weapons. Why don't any of these games let you test your DPS? Whatever, that's just besides the point. But it does add personality to progression, and it makes upgrades feel tangible. Once again, I would love to see this get expanded. So another point to bring up here is that the map does feel alive. Each run has a sense of randomness and danger, keeping things fresh depending on the route that you take. There's mini bosses and bosses that can keep you on your toes. There's a swing pattern that you do have to sort of get used to. So no two runs feel the same depending on how you play the game. The special boss areas introduce a major risk to reward moment. You'll constantly ask yourself, do I push deeper for better loot, or should I extract now and live to fight another day? And that's the feeling that it needs to continue to recreate. This level of engagement and exploration is what makes a game like this stand out in such a vast sea of extraction-based titles. There's just so many of them out there now. This level of engagement and exploration is what's going to take this game to the next level if they actually continue to work on it. And you got to steal other people's ideas to make it work, right? Dark and darker system where there's different layers to the map. Just steal the idea. Start working on things like that to make the game feel more alive and give you more decisions instead of just loot and scoot, right? Expand on that. So for the combat in this game, if you do play it right away, you'll notice one thing. If you continuously spam your attacks, you can sort of like animation lock people to where they can't do anything. Control is a dodge. So if you spam control, you can break out of that animation lock and create some space and try to maneuver that fight in your favor. Is it skill based? I don't know, but it does create a little layer of complexity in the combat system that I enjoy. The PvP fights are intense. You never know when you're going to fight a scrappy solo player or a fully geared squad looking to ruin your day. I learned that the hard way. Just pick solo, for God's sakes, if you're playing alone. One moment you're looting peacefully, the next you hear some footsteps and you realize you're being hunted. Try to be the hunter. Hide behind different areas of the map, try to find a good vantage point and get the jump on them. As for the extraction phase, or the ultimate test of nerves, that final stretch before extracting is where these games really get a personality. It's that Tarkov moment where you either make it out with that loot or you die inches away from safety, and let me tell you, that sucks butt, man. But every extraction does feel earned, but it doesn't give me that same adrenaline rush that a game like Tarkov would give me. But they're working on it. They also do have a trait system where you can customize your playstyle a little bit. The trait system adds a layer of RPG-like depth to it, allowing you to build around your strengths, whether you want to be a stealthy rogue who pickpockets, a magic-wielding glass cannon, or a beefy frontliner. It gives you some options, but I do feel like this is a work in progress. So this actually, good news on this part. Most games in this genre, not all of them, I mean some of them, but they do rely heavily on what you grab in your runs and you extract with, and that's the gear you're going to run with. This game does a really good job with the crafting. They're putting a lot of emphasis on the crafting, and I like that. There's 2 currencies, and one currency is used with the goblin to buy like mystery packs that give you gear. Give me more agency over that. I hate that. But at the same time, there's also a rep system with these guys where maybe the more rep you get, it might give you a little bit more agency, but it's a first impressions video, so I'm still learning these things. So gathering materials feels worth it. Unlike some games where crafting mats feel like useless clutter, here they have real value. Every dungeon run provides a chance to build something meaningful rather than just gambling on loot drops, which I love. You can craft your own weapons, which is a game changer. This is where the game really stands out. Instead of relying purely on loot RNG or going to the trading post to buy your gear, you can craft and upgrade your weapons that fit your playstyle. That first crafted weapon moment, absolute chef's kiss. It's that kind of system that makes you invested in long-term progression instead of feeling like every run is a total dice roll. I want to turn it over back to you for a second. If you do know about this rep system and there's a way to like control the agency with the goblin and you're aware of it, just put it in the comments below. That would be great. You'd be helping me and a lot of people out there. Now let's jump over to the game world and like the systems. It's aesthetically, it's good. The art style is pretty good. Dark, moody, dripping with atmosphere. If you're a fan of D&D inspired settings, this game, it goes for that and it kind of nails the vibe. If you've played World of Warcraft, I feel like you're really going to like it aesthetically. D&D influences the UI and the mechanics. I love how the quest system, merchants, and even the dialogue feels inspired by a tabletop RPG. There's a charm to it that gives it a unique identity in the extraction genre. I feel like Dark and Darker and this game are going for it. Dark and Darker has it nailed in my opinion, but they're going for that. For potential future additions, player housing and hub, I have to say it again. This game already hints at a deeper progression system, but imagine if they just added a fully interactive hub or a personal housing system. That would be incredible. This could elevate this game from a great extraction RPG, or a good one for that matter, to a truly long-term experience that will have people kind of cult follow it the way that people cult follow these other games in this genre. So final verdict time. Should you buy the game? I'm going to have to say yes, but not right now, unfortunately. $25 is not a giant price tag, but it's like 15 or 20% of the way there. And when you compare it to another game like Dark and Darker in the same genre, Dark and Darker felt more fleshed out when it first came out. And then Dungeonborn is another game in the same genre, and it completely flopped and the devs abandoned it. So I think that's going to be the biggest fear in this community. It's selling to them that you won't give up on this game and then stealing the $25 essentially. Like this, it starts to become and feel like abandonware almost. I saw that in a post somewhere, and it's a very good title for a game like this. It feels like abandonware. And I hate to say it, but the devs have to show the community that they're willing to work on this game and make it great. The one good thing I will say about the devs already is that some of the bugs I encountered when I first started playing the game, they patched it immediately, and they have to keep working on the game with the same sense of urgency if they want to earn the player's trust. So that pretty much wraps it up from me. What do you think? I want to turn it over to you. Do you think that this is worth $25? Are you going to buy the game? Are you not going to buy the game? Are you just not interested? Drop it in the comments below. I would really appreciate to hear from you. And if you did stay this long, I want to say from the bottom of my heart, I sincerely appreciate your support. If you did like the video, hit a like, subscribe for future content, and I hope you have a phenomenal day.